Darla with expressionsvinyl.com, and today we're just going to do a simple heat transfer project for you. But first you're going to need a few things. So you're first going to need your cutting tool, a weeding tool, and a few sheets of vinyl. Today we're working with our metal gold and our thin striped black and white pattern. You're also going to need to use your Cricut mat. So let's go over to the Cricut program and we'll show you how to get started. Okay, so now that we're in Cricut Design Space, we're just going to go over to our images icon and open up that page. And from here you can search for anything, and we've gone ahead and searched for hearts. And we're just going to go in and pick a few. This one we'll use for our thin striped black and white. And this one we'll go ahead and use for our gold. Once you have your images selected, then just insert the images by using the bottom right-hand corner button and select Insert Images. From this point, you can move your images around and size them to how you'd like. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, that looks good to me. So now that you've got your hearts sized how you'd like them, I need to make 2 of these ones. So just click on the image and up above in your edit panel, select copy and then paste. And you now have 2 images. All right, and now that you've got all of your images selected and ready to go, just go ahead and make it. Once you're in your preview page, it'll show you having 2 mats. This one's going to be for one color and this one's for the other color. But before you do anything else, make sure that you mirror your images because we're working with heat transfer vinyl. Okay, so since this is going to be our striped heat transfer vinyl, all right, so let's go ahead and get our striped heart vinyl ready to go. So now that we've got our shapes ready, we're ready to hit continue. And go ahead and select the device that you're working with. Today we're working with the Air. And then simply follow the step-by-step instructions and you're ready to go. Okay, so now that we've got our image ready to go, we are just going to take off the carrier sheet from our Cricut mat. And when you're working with heat transfer vinyl, you always want to remember to, once you've mirrored it, turn your heat transfer upside down so the pattern or the color is facing down. And then just line it up on your mat. All right, and we are ready to load. We're just going to move our dial to the iron on for this particular heat transfer vinyl, and then select the Cricut icon. All right, so now that this one's cut, you're just gonna unload it from your machine, and we have to remove this to go to our next color, the gold. So just simply flip over your mat and peel your mat away from your vinyl. This will help avoid any curling. All right, then we're just gonna go add our gold. All right, once it's done cutting, you're just going to unload your mat and remove your heat transfer vinyl from the mat. All right, now that we've taken our vinyls out of our machine and got them off of our mat, we are just going to cut them out just using some scissors or your box knife. And do this with both types of vinyl. All right, and then you're just going to weed out the excess that you don't want. Okay, and then repeat the same thing with your stripes. All right, so now we're ready to put this onto our onesie. You're first going to want some type of a board to give it good support. So let's go ahead and get those items. Okay, so we have our onesie, and you're going to need a board and some multi-use paper. Before we apply our heat transfer vinyl, we want to pre-press our onesie with an iron. All right, so to start off, we're going to start with our 2 golds and just position them where you'd like. And press firmly for 5 seconds. All right, and then we're just going to let this one cool down for a few seconds. All right, once your heat transfer is cooled, go ahead and slowly peel the carrier sheet away, rolling back. Okay, and now we're going to move on to our striped heat transfer vinyl. And same thing, line it up where you'd like. At this point, because these 2 hearts do not have the carrier sheet any longer, we are going to use our multi-use paper and just cover the whole thing. And trying to avoid the seams again, press for 5 seconds. All right, and then just slowly peel away the carrier sheet. All right, so there you go. We have a fun new heat transfer project all complete. You can also do these same projects on other machines. Like this one was done on the Silhouette Cameo 4. So for more heat transfer projects, go and check out our blog at expressionsvinyl.com, and we'll see you later.